Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Yeshi Chanzam. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Tuesday, the 16th of February. Death toll in India's Uttarakhand glacier tragedy rises to 58. Rescue efforts underway. Indian and Chinese troops disengage from Pangong Lake in eastern Ladakh. And NATO's Afghanistan withdrawal depends on violence level, says Chief Stoltenberg. And now for all the details. The death toll in the avalanche triggered by a bursting of a glacier in northern India has gone up to 58 as a total of 11 bodies were recovered from the Tapovan tunnel, whereas 146 people were still missing, officials said on Tuesday. The rescue operation has been intensified with over 300 personnel joining the task to search 146 missing people.
The rescue operation in the Tapovan rainy area of Chamoli district in northern Uttarakhand state has been intensified with over 300 personnel joining the task to search 146 missing people. Rescuers pulled out 2 more bodies from the site of a flash flood in a Himalayan region of Uttarakhand on Tuesday as rescue operations continued. So far, rescuers have retrieved the bodies of 58 people from the disaster-hit area in Chamoli district of Uttarakhand state. Rescuers are using heavy digging machinery in race to free dozens of dam construction workers trapped in an underground tunnel connected to a hydroelectric project being built by the government-owned National Thermal Power Corporation.
58 बॉडीज़ अभी तक रिकवर कर ली गई हैं। इनमें से 31 बॉडीज़ को आइडेंटिफाई भी कर लिया गया है। तपोवन में जो टनल है उसमें रेस्क्यू का कार्य अभी भी सभी फोर्सेस द्वारा निरंतर जारी है। लगभग 11 बॉडीज़ टनल से निकाली गई हैं जिनको आइडेंटिफाई कर लिया गया है। उत्तराखंड पुलिस की एसडीआरएफ एवं एनडीआरएफ की टीम्स द्वारा डॉग स्क्वाड्स के माध्यम से भी रैनी विलेज, तपोवन और आसपास के क्षेत्रों में सर्च अभियान जारी है।
The flash flood last week, triggered by what scientists said could have been a large avalanche of glacier ice, sent water, rocks and debris surging down the Dholiganga river valley, destroying dams and bridges. Experts have cautioned there could still be huge amounts of rock, debris, ice and water that could be dislodged, making rescue efforts risky.
Scores of university students held protest on Tuesday in Indian capital New Delhi and southern Bengaluru city against the arrest of 22-year-old climate activist Disha Ravi on sedition charges for sharing an online toolkit to support the ongoing farmers' protest. They blame the move is aimed at silencing dissenters and an attack on free speech.
Scores of members of student organizations held protests in Indian capital New Delhi and southern Bengaluru city on Tuesday to demand the release of 22-year-old climate activist Disha Ravi, arrested on sedition charges for sharing an online toolkit to support the months-long farmers' protest. The protesters raised slogans condemning the arrest of Disha Ravi, who is linked with Swedish climate activist Greta Thunberg. They blamed the move was aimed at silencing dissenters and was an attack on free speech. Police have been cracking down on the farmer protests against new farm laws since a section of protesters stormed Delhi's iconic Red Fort on January 26 on India's Republic Day. Delhi police has accused the toolkit document co-authored by Disha contained details of a social media campaign and on-ground action to be conducted in January, including the protesters entering the Indian capital.
Here our biggest concern here is how does Delhi police do not find the actual culprits who disrespect the national monument on 26th and couldn't file an FIR up to 2 to 3 days, and all of a sudden finds a scapegoat in Bengaluru and comes all the way from Delhi to arrest one student related to the 26th riot. Now how can this practically connect dots?
Disha Ravi, who was detained in Bengaluru city and then moved to New Delhi this past weekend, is currently under a 5-day police custody. The Indian government has blamed vested interests and outsiders for misleading the farmers as protests have drawn international support.
Moving on, after months of fierce standoff at the line of actual control, the Indian and Chinese troops continued with the disengagement process on Tuesday along the Pangong Lake in the Himalayan region of Ladakh. The two armies last week reached an agreement on disengagement in the north and south bank of Pangong Lake that mandates both sides to cease forward deployment of troops in a phased and coordinated manner. A footage released by the Indian Army showed People's Liberation Army of China dismantling its tents and camps and carrying loads to light vehicles. The standoff began in April last year when India said Chinese troops had intruded deep into its side of the border. Tensions had escalated after 20 Indian soldiers were killed in a violent clash with Chinese troops in Ladakh's Galwan Valley last June. In news from Pakistan, hitting out at Prime Minister Imran Khan, Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz Vice President Maryam Nawaz has urged selectors not to subject the country to the current ordeals by letting the ruling PTI government come to power once again. Addressing a rally in Wazirabad on Monday, Maryam lampooned Khan's party for bad governance as well as rising inflation and unemployment in the country. The PMLN Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz Vice President Maryam Nawaz on Monday said people from all walks of life were struggling to survive due to the inflation caused by Prime Minister Imran Khan's policies, asking elite selectors not to subject the country to its current ordeal by helping to bring the ruling PTI, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, into power again. Addressing a rally in Wazirabad as part of the election campaign for PP51, Maryam lampooned the ruling party for bad governance as well as rising inflation and unemployment in the country. She asked the people not to vote for the PTI candidate in the by-polls. Maryam had earlier claimed that the ruling PTI had nominated billionaires for the upcoming Senate elections to use their wealth for buying votes in the polls. The Pakistani Senate election will be held on 3rd of March. Moving on, crumbling infrastructure in Pakistan-administered Kashmir continues to afflict lives of locals in the illegally occupied region. The persisting condition has created a worrisome environment for the public.
The poor condition of roads and absence of proper education and healthcare facilities continue to make life miserable for people living in Pakistan-administered Kashmir. Locals say the authorities do not pay any heed to their requests and accuse it is part of Islamabad's agenda to keep the illegally occupied region underdeveloped. They say their patience has given way after no hospitals, schools and basic facilities are in sight to be developed in near future.
पूरे 5 सालों में मुजफ्फराबाद को देख लें, इलाकों को देख लें, सड़कों को देख लें, कोई भी तरक्याती काम नहीं हुआ। इस वक्त मुजफ्फराबाद की कैफियत ये है कि ज़लज़ले से पहले से जो चीज़ें मुतासर हैं वो अभी तक इसी तरह कायम हैं। सड़कें, स्कूलों की भी यही कैफियत है।
People of Pakistan-administered Kashmir have been waiting for years now for a better administration that could work for their development. However, corruption and ignorance in the system has become a major challenge for the growth of the region, leaving its future in dark.
Ahead of the NATO defense ministers meeting this week to discuss whether the Taliban is making good on the Afghan peace deal, Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg has reiterated that the presence of the alliance troops in Afghanistan is conditions-based. He said the Taliban must do more to meet the terms of the 2020 peace agreement with the US to allow for any possible foreign troop withdrawal by May.
NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg has said the Taliban in Afghanistan must do more to meet the terms of a 2020 peace agreement with the United States to allow for any possible foreign troop withdrawal by a May deadline. The remark came as allied defense ministers are scheduled to discuss whether the Taliban is making good on the peace deal later this week. Attacks in Afghanistan have prompted members of the US Congress and international rights groups to call for a delay to the pullout agreed under former President Donald Trump.
Our common goal is clear. Afghanistan should never again serve as a haven for terrorists to attack our homelands. So our presence is conditions-based. While no ally wants to stay in Afghanistan longer than necessary, we will not leave before the time is right.
The Trump administration signed the peace deal with Taliban in February last year in Doha. The accord drew up plans for withdrawal of US troops from Afghanistan in exchange for security guarantees from the insurgent group. The administration of new US President Joe Biden faces calls to seek a 6-month delay.
Part of years-old tradition, annual fish fair in Bangladesh's Bogra district was held recently with much fanfare. Every year at the end of winter, people in Bogra district celebrate the festival, centering the grand fish fair with their invited guests and relatives, especially the sons-in-law.
Hundreds of people thronged Bogra district of Bangladesh to attend a grand annual fish fair recently as part of years-old tradition in the country. Every year at the end of winter, people in Bogra district celebrate the festival, centering the grand fish fair with their invited guests and relatives, especially the sons-in-law.
প্রথমে পোড়াদহ মেলাতে আসছি অনেক ভালো লাগতেছে অনেক বড় বড় মাছ দেখতেছি খুবই আনন্দ লাগতেছে
তিলি থানা গোলাবাড়ি রানীরপাড়া আমি ব্যবসা করি দীর্ঘ 22-23 বছর হলো কিন্তু আমার বাপেও করছে আমার দাদাও করছে ওইজন্য আমি নিজেও করি আর এই মেলাতে আপনার প্রতি বছরই আমরা মাছ নিয়ে আসি 12 লক্ষ 13 লক্ষ টাকা এই মেলাতেই শেষ হয়ে যায় সব বিকেল হয়ে শেষ হয়ে যায়
The fish fair is built as the biggest gathering in Bogra and is held on the last Wednesday of the Bengali month of Magh every year. But people start thronging to the fairground from Tuesday as they celebrate Jamai Bau Mela, meaning groom and bride fair, on Thursday after the main event on Wednesday.
People in India and Nepal on Tuesday marked the spring festival of Basant Panchami with fervour. Scores of Hindu devotees took holy dips in rivers and worshipped Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge and wisdom.
Hindu devotees converged at the banks of holy river Ganges in Notan, Haridwar and Varanasi cities on Tuesday to take holy dips on the occasion of spring festival Basant Panchami. Basant Panchami marks the onset of spring season and glorifies Saraswati, the Hindu goddess of knowledge and learning. On this day, people also dress in yellow, which is the color of spring, and prepare a variety of sweets flavored with saffron.
आज का स्नान का महत्व है। बसंत पंचमी सरस्वती माँ की पूजा की जाती है और मौसम परिवर्तन में ज़्यादा ठंडा नहीं होती है और ना गर्मी होती है।
अब आज तो गंगा नहाते हैं, दान पुण्य करते हैं, जो भी अपना यथाशक्ति करते हैं सब लोग। पीला कपड़ा पहना जाता है, पीला चीज दान किया जाता है।
Meanwhile, in neighboring Nepal also, where the festival is known as Shri Panchami, people along with their children visited temples to worship Goddess Saraswati on the occasion. On this day, people start their children's education and admit them to schools or hand them over a pencil or a pen for the first time.
Well, that's all we have for you from South Asia this evening. Now, our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/AsAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @AsAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.